Guys, deluded, I'm back again, your favourite YouTuber. You guys know I love young players. In fact, when it comes to YouTube, I actually would class myself as the king of young players. Not because I know everybody, not because I know everyone's career is going to turn out, not because I can judge every player, just because you guys see my love for young players. 9 times out of 10, a young player that I think can play at a decent level goes on to do that. I'm very good at clearly seeing their level, seeing what club they would be good at and things like that. But two young players I've been looking at, and you've seen the vids about it, Harvey Elliot and Ryan Gravenbech. Two young players I would love at Arsenal, would die for at Arsenal. Believe they're obviously potential, just potential, but respective in their careers and their nationalities and their clubs, they could have big futures. We'll start off with Harvey Elliot. You saw my vid about him. He made his debut in the Cagliari Cup for Fulham. He was named on their bench, 15 years of age. In fact, at 15 years of age, he's one of the youngest to be named on the bench. And after coming off the bench at 15 years old and 100 and something, whatever, however they calculated it, he's the youngest player. He's actually the youngest player to feature in the Cagliari Cup. So credit to him. I believe they played Millwall and won 3-1. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But he's a talented young player. He's very much a maverick. He's got a lot of bravado. He's a dazzling winger. He's got it all. He's still young, and such is the nature of the game. Everyone will behave like he's a world beater at this age, and if he doesn't, if he kind of stagnates or finds it hard or goes through the trials and tribulations most footballers go through, they will write him off at 21 years of age. But he's a great player. My advice to him would be, and I'm sure he's got great people around him, don't make the same mistakes that Patrick Roberts did, in the sense that Patrick Roberts he's played for Celtic. He's obviously made his debut in the Premier League and he's a professional footballer, and so, but at 21 turning 22, where is he? He's playing for Genoa, no disrespect to them, but he should be, in my honest opinion, playing in the Premier League and possibly getting on the cross with the England side. I know they're playing in the Championship and he's actually Welsh, but you look at Harry Wilson, you look at Mason Mount, you see what they're doing at Derby in the Championship, and you have to wonder what playing under someone like Frank Lampard could do for Patrick Roberts to a degree. So yeah, nice to see Harvey Elliott made the bench and obviously got some game time, and that will be a good carrot for him in the future, in the sense that he's 15, he's got to work, but he knows it's possible. He knows the club and the manager and the ethos is all there for him to play. And just on that basis, you have to credit Fulham in Hugh Jennings, I believe, and the rest of the team. Fulham make some good players for their academy. Fulham have been producing some good players. Fulham have some good academies, and I believe Fulham, when I look at teams like Fulham and Charlton, I don't believe they get the praise necessarily that they deserve for having this ethos on academy prospects and things like that. But moving on, Ryan Gravenbech, you saw him playing the under 17s European Championship, which his nation actually won. For me, I wouldn't say he set the world alight, but he showed his talent, and he's shown his talent for the last year or so now as well. And he trained with Ajax's first team over pre-season. Over last weekend, I saw he made his debut for Ajax in the 3-0 defeat against PSV or whenever it was. And I'm impressed because he's someone I wanted at Arsenal. He's a very good midfielder. He can connect the lines. He's got a good passing range. He's got that bravado. He'll try things. He can dribble. Probably he's one that's still at that stage. He's probably playing on instinct too much and needs to be a bit more calculated. But I'm happy for the lad. He's amazing, and I mean he's broken the record for the youngest player to debut for Ajax. I think a record that stayed since 1992 with Seedorf. Ryan Gravenbech beat it at what 16 years of age, 4 months and 7 days old. Right, Clarence Seedorf, the man who had the record, 28, same age, 28 days and 7 months. So that's some good company. What's that? Company to be amongst, and I mean, it's scary because it's great company to be amongst. And I mean, if you beat anybody's record, then it's Seedorf's, and you saw how Seedorf's career went to play for big clubs, AC Milan, Inter. You obviously saw. Did he play for Inter? I'm sure he did. If you go and look at his statistics, but Madrid winning Champions League titles, starring as a kid essentially, being a household name and things like that. If he has a fraction of that career, he'll go down as a good player. There's obviously pressure, because if you've broken that record, people are going to expect you to more or less be Clarence Seedorf at that age. And Seedorf as a teenager was pretty damn complete from what I see. So yeah, I'm happy for them. He's gone from being a European under-17s winner, going with pre-season with Ajax, and now he's been included in their Champions League side and made his debut. And within the next 2 years, I think he's going to be the one that people are buzzing about. I'm not saying he's going to be a world beater, but he's going to be one that people are going to have on their radar. I don't think he'll be ready for a top club yet in the sense of Madrid, Barca and that, but he's going to develop quite quicker than people expect, in my humble opinion. I really am quite annoyed that Arsenal were not able to get this lad, because I think he's going straight to the top, as do I do with Harvey Elliot, man. But that's it for them two. Bit of a cheat sheet. I really can't be bothered to make it into a separate vid, but Brianbrobbeyajax, I can't say his name correctly. I'm pretty sure I've given him his own vid, or if I haven't, I've spoken about him before for sure. Equally a talented player at Ajax's books. He can play up front as well as a couple other positions. For me, he's quick, he's strong. His build wouldn't suggest it, but I wouldn't say he's skillful, but he's skillful. Like, he can drop a little shoulder, he can get his head up, he can do a little skill to evade a tackle. In fact, he is skillful. He's quick and strong, you can't play against that. And he is a prolific goal scorer. For me, the happiest memory I have of him so far in his early career, at 16, 17, however old he is, he's yet to make his debut for Ajax, unlike Gravenbech. He came off the bench in the European final for Holland, this very one that Gravenbech won, their teammates at club and country level. He came off the bench and won it for them. And even if you look at his records, for Holland's under-17s, in 13 appearances, 14 goals, 2 assists. For Ajax's 17s, 24 appearances, 26 goals, 6 assists. For the under-19s, in 13, he's got 11 and 4 assists. And obviously, it's completely off topic, but last year, if you watch the game against Vitesse at under-19s level where he bagged the brace, I believe, I could be wrong, it could have been one goal, or he might not have even scored, but I think that was a standout game from him. I think all three have potential to go down as good footballers, but potential is just potential. Everyone's got potential nowadays. Even if you ain't got potential, someone can write that you got potential, and then it is what it is. But it's down to all three of them, because I mean, they're all 16, well, one's 15, let's just call them all 16. 4 years is a long time, but we need to see what they're like at 20. Then at 20, we need to see they don't have to be the finished product, but at 20 years of age, we need to see them kind of shaping up. And then the real review for me actually is when I look at these players at 23, because that's where you see not where your career is going. I mean, if you've seen many examples to prove this wrong, but you can kind of see how a player is going to shape up at 23 years of age, give or take, what's going to happen. And by then, actually, football would have been filled with many twists, turns, and bumps, and sadly injuries, and all different hardships that they've got to counter. Like I always say, shift happens. Listen to me, shift happens, people. Things are always shifting in life. I mean, how many of you have got plans or have planned something or planned to reach certain goals? It had cut for whether it's financial or whatever reason it hasn't happened, and you've had to adjust it. Football is the same. Obviously, you'd think it's linear from A to B. You progress from under 16, 18, 17s, and then boom. Even if you look at Bernardo Silva, he was coming through when he was coming through in Portugal. His manager in his club side tried to play him left back. It didn't work out for him. He left the club, rebuilt himself at Monaco. Now he's playing for Manchester City, winning the Premier League, trying to win the Champions League, and I believe he can honestly blossom into the best creative midfielder within the Premier League, 10 position crap, whatever you want to call it. But it's not filled with twists it's filled with twists and turns. It's not A to B in this football team. Nothing more to add, man. Guys, DG, thank you for having me. Get in the comments, subscribe, and do the rest if you wish. Out.